New video due today. Need for Speed 2015 was another case that most people that actually grew up with Need for Speed games and actually came back to. This is not only because we have relic customization, but it was another case where if you had a PS4, unfortunately you don't have much of racing game options. You just have Drive Club and then you have this game. But what this game is known for is the cars and customization. So I'm going to be doing a ranking based off of those two. Now I'm going to be doing, so there's only 2 rules, and these 2 rules are going to be fluent through, well, this game, Payback, and Heat. So rule 1, I'm only going to be talking about one version of the car, not multiple amount of them. And number 2, if you see this, then you know what it means. But hey, if you don't think a car is OP, then that's on you. Anyways, without any further ado, let's get started on the rankings. Oh, and also I'm gonna be ranking the customization. So, yeah, the Volvo 242DL from 1975, a vehicle that is so Swedish that you can actually rock the flag and drift the mess out of it. Yeah, 7 out of 10. The Volkswagen Golf GTI is another case where it was a Need for Speed car that was ridiculously OP, and it's now good. Just don't expect to win any races for this car though. Gas crisis out of 10. The Toyota Spirit Trim Apex, you already know, you already see it. Just slap a tofu shop livery on the car, and you end up being drifting like a god. It's her initial D meme out of 10. Yeah, the Mazda MX-5. Well, you know what this means. Yeah, is always the answer from doing media, and also this car has pop-up headlights. So, how do I say it? Oh yeah, pop-up up and down headlights out of 10. Anyways, the Acura RS-X is one of those cases where this car can be a good first car. It just depends on if you're willing to spend over $10,000 and not look like a car that, not like the vehicle, like the person that legit stole this car off of someone. Totally not stolen out of 10. I'll say what Type R. Well, you already know what the Type R is for. Yeah, VTEC out of 10. Ford Mustang, yep, you already know what it means. The Ford Mustang 1965 is good at drifting, but nothing is compared to Huracan. Yeah, stop using Huracan out of 10. Toyota Supra, you already seen the memes. Yeah, just max the car out and let's see how bad you have been beating with a couple of cars. Insert super horsepower meme out of 10. Nissan 180SX, really good drift car, and not to mention this car is pretty customizable. Yeah, Animals, out of 10. Nissan Fairlane 240Z is another case where this car is ridiculously good because of how lightweight it is. Insert Wonga Midnight meme out of 10. Ford 1932. This car you can make into a drift build, and you can literally launch yourself with 250 miles an hour. I am not joking when I say that. 8 out of 10. Ford Mustang Fox Body, another drift car favorite, and not to mention a lot of people use this car for drag races. But yeah, 5 liter out of 10. Mazda RX-7 is another case where I use this car for drift races, and it's ridiculously how it is. Same with the rotaries out of 10. Dodge Challenger SRT8. At one point, this car was the most powerful car in the entire game, with literally 1500 horsepower, but the car is ridiculously heavy. So, yeah, 6 out of 10. Toyota GTA6. Oh man, this is another case where this car is very customizable. 5 out of 10. Scion FRS. Cool car. Just don't expect any people. Just expect to have a lot of Toyota parts. RP Scion out of 10. Super BRZ. Okay, I think I see the theming behind it here. Why there's 3 of you out of 10? Mazda MX-5 2015. Cool car, great customization. Just don't expect win any races with only 155 horsepower, and upgrading it, you're only gonna be having, well, yeah, hairdresser out of 10. Nissan S15, a only S chassis that doesn't drift. Is that even possible? Well, yeah and no. 8 out of 10. Nissan Skyline GTR KPGC10. Yeah. This is probably one of the longest names ever, but this car is ridiculously good. Even though maxed out only has 800 horsepower. 7 out of 10. Honda S2000. Another Honda that, well, it's pretty much a fan favorite because who doesn't love an S2000? Not to mention the bike kits, you can actually just have a different roof on the car. 10 out of 10. Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution MR. You know, the funny thing is, I thought the MR was gonna be the Evo 10, but it turns out it was an Evo 9. But you can have Evo 8 parts, so that's a good for me. Insert 2 Fast and Furious and 2 just out of 10. And here we go, Nissan Skyline R32 GTR. Pretty sure this is one of my favorite R30. Pretty sure it's one of my favorite R chassis Skylines. Godzilla out of 10. BMW M3 E46. You already know, you already have this car. You probably bought the deluxe edition along with this to get a free version of this car. Just, yeah. Needs to be most wanted. 05 out of 10. Subaru X STI. One of those cases is when, well, you have the old version of Evo, but you got the new version of the WRX. But yeah, Collin McRae out of 10. BMW M392 Ray Krieger machine, and it's already over by the time you end up getting to this vehicle's high potential. Ray Krieger's VA out of 10. The BMW M3 Evo 2 E30. Yeah, 80s German engineering out of 10. The Honda NSX Type R. Totally not a supercar, but it has supercar performance, and it's all doing it with productivity and literally a 3-liter V6. But just don't expect to put a rocket bunny on the car to make it look better. Yeah, 3-liter V6 out of 10. Porsche 911 Carrera S, and once again, this is one of my favorite Porsches. If you have not noticed in the streams, I tend to actually like early to late 90s Porsches. Yeah, not an R-Star now, 10. Lotus Exige S. Yeah. Just don't buy this car. I legit recommend do not buy this car. Not a good drift car, not a good race car. Yeah, 1 out of 10. Nissan Skyline GT3 RS. Yep, this is legit Asura. The only difference is that it's not customized, and not to mention best sounding inline 6 in the entire game. Well, other than the R32, that is. 9 out of 10. Road Mustang Boss CO2. I legit bought this. In fact, here's a fun fact. This is a third vehicle that I bought in the story mode, and I actually trying to recreate my version of the Boss TO2 from Midnight Club. So yeah, RTR-X out of 10. BMW M2 2016. Yeah, Far to the Future out of 10. Ford Focus RS. Another car that's literally like from 2016, but it is actually a really good car, and not to mention you can legit make this into a rally machine. Even though there aren't any rally parts, trust me, I would know this. And not to mention, this is probably one of the best. Oh yeah, 5 out of 10. BMW M4. Yep, this car went back to its roots, and instead of a V8, it gave it N96. with a turbo nonetheless. I mean, yeah, 6 out of 10. Ford Mustang. Yeah, it's a cool car. Not to mention, this car was in the trailer, so yeah. Not to mention, this car is actually really good drifting. Just don't expect to pull Volkswagen Junior stuff while you're driving it. So yeah, insert Mustang joke out of 10. Porsche 911 Carrera 991. This car, believe it or not, you can actually turn this to a 911 GT3 RS. Just don't expect people to be fooled by its underperforming status. Although it's around 400 horsepower and 188 miles per hour, yeah, fake GT3 RS out of 10. Chevrolet Camaro Z28. If the Mustang was your first muscle car or the Challenger, this is probably your first muscle car that you ever owned, and then you end up buying a car just for drag races, and then you end up getting gapped by Porsches. So yeah, there's nothing to say here. 4 out of 10. Chevrolet Corvette Z06. I was actually surprised that I added a C7, not necessarily not any C7, but the C6. And this is by far my favorite sounding V8 of the entire game. Just I'll swap out of 10. Nissan GTR 2015. You know it, you see it, and not to mention, who in the right mind didn't emphasize that the car is going to have smaller wheels than stock? Yeah, every YouTuber owns 1 out of 10. Mercedes-Benz AMG GT. This is the only Mercedes-Benz that's in the game. That's basically about it. Not to mention, good sounding V8, but it's not as good as the LS. Yeah. That's basically about it. Only Benz out of 10. Nissan GTR Premium 2017. When I first saw the trailer for this car, I was like, okay, this is probably pretty cool, but who in their right mind actually makes this car a lot slower? And I'm dead serious when I say this, but this car maxed out is 100 horsepower lower than 2015. Too far to the future out of 10. Yeah, Dodge Viper SRT8. SRT10, my mistake. The only Viper that's in the game, and not to mention, this is by far the only, and not to mention, this is the only car that looks good in matte black. Well, not to emphasize people that not like matte black Lambos. I mean, seriously, my favorite Lamborghini color is Nero Nemesis. So, yeah, there's that. Also, I do believe it's called Shadow Black. So, for you Mopar fans that know their colors, comment down below which one you think it is. So if we're gonna give a rating, I'm gonna give it a midlife crisis out of 10. Porsche RSR counter, please. Thank you. Yeah, this is by far the most broken car in the entire game. In fact, the car is so broken that it actually spawned memes of this car. And not to mention, yeah, there's one of those cases where it's like, why in the world does this thing exist in the first place? And not to mention, the car is stupid lightweight. But apparently, even though it has horsepower of a tuner car, but the top speed of a modern sports car, it still costs more than, well, an Evo or a Skyline. Yeah, there's nothing to say here. Also, people, finish your RWBs. Totally not a dope out of 10. Porsche Cayman GT4. It's one of those cases where the car is customizable, just don't expect it to be pretty fast. And not to mention, this car, believe it or not, I actually tried drifting with this. It's decent, but it's not good. So, yeah, 3 out of 10. Porsche 911 RSR. I remember when a lot of people bought this car and they turned it into a 911 RSR, but it's not good. 0 out of 10. 4.458 Italia. Yeah, just don't buy it. If you want to buy it, don't customize it because it's gonna pull out during the cease and desist on the ones who actually bought this car. Yeah, cease and desist out of 10. Lamborghini Diablo SVT. The only Lambo that I bought, then sold it for a more modern-esque type Lambo. Not to mention, you can actually and for the more Hoshi one, yeah, it's actually pretty cool. 4 out of 10. Lamborghini Murcielago. Oh my God, who in the world does not own one of these? In fact, this car is the only car that actually has kept with me since, well, other than the Yasura and the Mustang. But dear God, this car has stuck with me ever since 2015. So yeah, and not to mention it actually gives you a special rule that if I'm going to buy my first Lamborghini Murcielago, tell this supercar out of 10. Counter please, thank you. Yeah, who in the right mind decide the Huracan to be the best drift car? And I am not saying it because I'm salty. In fact, I used this car before in drift races, and believe it or not, it's overpowered. McLaren 570S, the only McLaren that's in the game, and not to mention this car, believe it or not, was yeah, I didn't use that much. The only British brand out of 10. Lamborghini Aventador LP 700-4 SV. Well, not SV, 700-4. Let's see, if you have not bought this car yet, you'll be surprised. Because, believe it or not, I bought all Lambos before, yeah. Forza Swapper Sweat Dream out of 10. Ferrari F40, classic car, just, I didn't bother buying the car at all. Yeah, 7 out of 10. Bad Customs F132. Who in the right mind thought to put a 10,000 RPM engine and F1 tires on a classic car? Genius! Totally non-speed out of 10. Totally not. So, yeah. For the most part, it's one of those cases where, oh yeah, don't worry, there's gonna be another one soon. So, yeah. For those wondering, okay, what about the extra cars? So the ones you're talking about is Nakai-san's Porsche. There's the 277, the Unicorn, the Morohoshi-san Diablo, and the deluxe edition of the M3. Well, those are, well, the only ones that is customizable is the M3 because, well, it's the deluxe edition. So, yeah. So next time I'm actually going to be doing Needs to Be Paybacks, and Needs to Be Paybacks is going to be really complicated. So hope you guys have a dope day. This is Goddrifter sign off, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.